Captain's Log, Stardate 4304.11, 80115.4, November 15th, 2404. The Chimera A has been called to the planet Flodai for a most unusual reason. This is not Starfleet's usual mission, but so far we've been given all the strangest assignments lately. Eventually, we will have to reach the Academy. Maybe we'll be closer this month. This is not our usual mission.
No, Captain. We usually don't need to handle these issues. Starfleet must think we are not worthy.
What exactly is our mission? Quirk has finally resurfaced.
James Quirk, how long has it been?
The last time a version of him made an appearance was in 2391.
But then do we count the time there was a copy of him from the Valerian planet, which was only 2 years ago?
I don't think he counts, as he was a Q or some other life form pretending to be Quirk, but not actually him.
I wonder if this is about Quirk or someone else.
It is about Flodai. Our guest is in top shape, Captain. I still work out, Doc. Oh my gosh, it's you. It is me. How are you, Devana? Fine. In the 2380s, she taught Federation law. No, it was an internship in 81. I was subbing for someone else. I'm surprised you remember. I learned more that day than in the rest of the semester. Welcome to Chimera A, Captain Sandra Talisman. Thank you, Captain Ezra Locarno. She is here to help deal with the Flodaians who may have captured Quirk and the Oldsters.
Why would they do that?
They think it'll lure the Andover people here. Some of them have become unstable, and we must find out why. Captain, we are not alone. Proximity alert. Kraz, report. The ship appears to be from far out. What kind of ship is that?
The ship is bringing up shields.
They seem to have come from far out with weapons. The Borg and the Dominion had some control on the planet last time we were there. They have changelings and drones aboard. They're not a collective. No other transmissions. Open a channel to the ship. Aye, sir.
I am Khaki of the Mariam planet. I have formed an alliance with my rescuers.
Greetings, Starfleet ship. I am Karen of Cinders, Space Knight Commander of Master of Andover now. Andover is a ship crashed on the planet Far Out, of which there are 3 such ships. What does this Space Knight order? I am of Andover. We are allies of the Space Knights. We are the founders. Do not attempt to stop us from our objective. What is your objective? We intend to summon the immortal aliens called the Q to Overlords, and have them do our bidding. What better place to look than their home planet, eh?
How is that? I looked it up at the Space Library and told them Flodai was the epicenter of the first large-scale Bored and the first Overlords.
That cannot be true. It must be true. The Halter himself left the game, and the universe froze over. Look it up. He then hid on the planet. Weeks later, he decided to thaw out the universe by rejoining the game.
Sillian history. It's corrupted. They're mad, Captain.
We are sane, and we have at last defied your exile by coming here. The Federation will at last give us creations of the Hazel and the Fictionals freedom, or we will take it. They are misled by the Founders, Captain. They have no intention of giving them the Sillian powers. Shields up. Red alert. Yes, Captain. We will blast a hole in the anomaly generator here and pass into history, awakening the sleeping aliens that make all wishes come true. No, you fools. Your thoughts create reality is a misunderstanding. It's not going to grant your wishes. Just theirs. Or the great Dr. Kim's wishes. The future will change, and we will rule.
Or mine, where I will get back to my friends.
Activate the device. Full weapons, fire. Emergency saucer separation, now. Too late, incoming. Brace for impact, evasive action. We did it! Screw it! I knew I could play the organ correctly. Ha ha! Well, oh shit. No! What happened? We got transported somehow. But to which side? It cannot be, but it seems it is. It seems it is. You will call me Empress Elysian, Federation dogs. Empress. Okay, Empress. You are aboard my vessel, the battle striker Medusa. A nod to the older Chimera Phoenix class, Medusa or Mary Sue, one of her sister ships. The name was Mary Sue. This must be an alternate timeline. They look like Terrans, my Empress. Like my late husband. Terrans must be dealt with.
They're not all Terrans. One of them is an Orion.
The Orions are very useful smugglers and pirates. Nothing's changed in some respects.
Terrans.
I have no use for 3 Terrans, especially 2 children bordering on adulthood. How did you get here? There was a battle, Empress. During the battle, we shifted from our timeline to this one. A likely story. Did that lazy Borg king send you here? To spy on us, perhaps? We don't know this Borg person, so no. Perhaps you should have them go down to sickbay and have the ship's doctor see if they're telling the truth by doing a scan of them. Many of my patients don't survive going to sickbay. Well, it's no skin off our nose. Send him to the ship's doctor. Your heir? I was kind of expecting a big Klingon guy. My ex-husband? Do I know you? I don't think so. He was the CMO on the other Chimera, the older one. No, you're the CMO now, on the newer one. I will do a scan. Very interesting. You seem to have a bit of Borg in you. I didn't know that. As for the female over there, she's registering as an unusual mutation. I'm gender fluid, a transsexual. You are? That sounds like a changeling more than a Trill. No, I'm only half Trill and half human. Oh, very well. It doesn't matter. The Empress will probably desire to have you horribly killed, if your people don't need you. What about me? Your scan seems normal, but you're part Beta Z. Interesting. Then you should confirm that we are from another dimension and we shouldn't be here. No, I haven't determined that yet. We need to run more tests. A year report. The strange 4 people that appeared on the bridge are indeed from another universe. Surely not. Don't call me Shirley, but it's true. They are. We told you, from a universe that's quite a bit different from yours. You see, what happened is a guy named Khaki and some of his friends from the Mariam planet, and some of their friends from the Andover planet, also called Far Out, made an alliance with the Dominion and the Borg, and they decided to invade Flodai. There were shots fired, and we ended up here. That is odd. Very odd. Well, if they were spies, they wouldn't be foolish enough to show up on our bridge. Yes, because no one shows up uninvited on the Empress's bridge. Indeed, I would have executed them immediately. However, I was feeling lenient. It's not a sign of weakness, Empress. Only the chi energy makes us powerful. I know that. Only the will of the great Dr. Kim is known. To have the power to be full Sillian. Sillian, Sandra, this ship is insane. They act like they're part of a cult. And that's because they are. I suspect that in this universe, Karen and her friends were successful and erased the Sillians from existence, replacing them with them. That is a frightening thought. They let some of them stay. Like Elysian. She's one of the Clennah twins. A version of one of them. Maybe Libby or Chris, I don't know. Libby, no, yes. Chris was the more demented one, and who tried to off herself in the 1990s, in our timeline. Libby lived on to at least the early 2010s. The Elysians are clones of the Libby, and Chris is the other one. No. Empress Elijah, how did this glorious new empire appear? So that we might know the story of your universe and how it came to be. I, Empress Elysian, will tell you. In October 1988, at the school I attended, well, I was technically on the holodeck of the Enterprise back in February of that year, but I digress. I was generated by the Cute into existence to annoy Lucky Clerk, better known as Picard. And I did. But unexpectedly, these other crewmen showed up with their ship. In October of 1988, from another time, they attacked the Enterprise and crew, and the universe changed from there. The Pine Hill incident, Cal Hazel told me about it. I kind of didn't believe him, but then he invited me to Silly Trek, and I realized it was true, all of it. Somehow the Cute gave the children powers, the children from Pine Hill, and when they did, they annoyed Lucky Clerk or Picard. And then, thus began the entire Sillian universe as we know it, an offshoot of the Star Trek multiverse. We seem to be in a sideways universe of that. And it's like the mirror universe. Yes, but I assure you, they won't figure it out before you die. Yes, take them to the agonizer booth. We must find out who they are. And then we can take their powers and leave.
Oh no, we can't have that happen.
Guards, take them away. Out of my sight. That doesn't sound good. Empress, you brought me new ones. We'll leave you to your work. I have other things to attend to, like enslaving the planet's surface and so forth. You may break them. Start with the spunky one, with the big protuberances. As you wish, my lord. Shh! Doodloot. Oh, I think that Empress likes me. You're not actually going to torture us for information from a universe that doesn't have anything to do with yours. It'd be kind of pointless. Our secrets wouldn't even match yours. You are the Terrans. I have no use for you four. You know nothing. So you want to get out of here or what? You're trying to help us, or is this a test? It's me, Clarity. I'm Chica. You do sound familiar. Yes, well, I recognize you, and I mean, you know, you were a glorious sparring instructor. Yes, even in this one. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. So Clarity, let's get out of here. Sandra, where are we going to go? We need to get off this crazy ship. Perhaps down on the planet, they have some answers. Guards, they're trying to escape. Seize them. Give me the blaster. I guess we shouldn't piss her off. Let's find one of their shuttles. Hello, 123. Hello, Zab. Yes, Sandra, I am Zab, even in this universe. Oh, well. Oh, wow. The COL thought you were Ted, Mr. La Palma's friend. No, I'm the girl that Mr. P had the hots for. Didn't do anything to me. Good. That's gross. Even in this universe, he's a legend. Yes, he was very big, from what I hear. Quit talking about penises. We've got to get out of here. Gee, I wonder how she knew that's what we were talking about. Honey, girls are always thinking about penises. Just like guys are thinking about girls. So you were modeled after the part of me that was more logical. Let's get out of here. Well, it seems we've gotten away from Elysian and their group, only to land on this messed up, desolate planet. It's Flodai. The name comes from a typo. New Florida. It's Sillian. It is. How come it's not cheery and has cities and stuff like that, instead of not having those? Well, suppose that in this universe, Holter never actually stopped the final story. Suppose that he froze the universe shortly after the other story part of it, and then, froze everything in place. Yeah, that did happen with the Ventura D of the Enterprise, didn't it? According to the records. Then we must find somebody else that can break this. And there's only one person that possibly could still be here, even in this universe. Come on. Oh yeah, you know somebody. I have an idea. It's just a theory. You figure that in both universes, or one that's slightly darker and more twisted, and more ambitious, that in this universe it would be even more twisted. So, they'd be more ambitious. Like the Zeldanian Nintendosis spread all over the galaxy. Exactly. So this means that this person is not going to be in charge of the planet. Oh no, not exactly. I can explain how she could be my instructor. Our actors are closer in age than we play here. Yes, story-wise, our counterparts are me, I'm 42, and she's 36, but she plays somebody 50.
Greetings, Terrans. Females usually don't come around here. Girls usually don't come around here at all. Intriguing.
This is Jim Buffed Him, formerly of the Pine Hill Kids. Well, in our universe, he was a deposed Starfleet officer. He was older than the other original boys. He was an adult. I did meet him on occasion. He would come to Cal Hazel's testings, and one time he even broke a board. Of course, he thought that Grandmaster was a ninja god that could break through someone's mind with their powers. But yeah.
Ah, but the Kim can use her mind powers. All of us trained in one house together. It was glorious. And when we were all part of a great dream to rule the galaxy. Yes, it was beautiful. Oh, there was Connor, there was Halter, and there was Hazelton of Borg. Yes.
This guy is demented. The whole universe is like that. He's just part of it. Look, we're from a different timeline. Some of the ex-Martial Sportiests people from our timeline went to this timeline to attempt to hook up with the Grandmaster's cult that survived the Purge. Yeah, we're not here to pick up on you for a date. In fact, we're totally not interested.
Oh, pity, huh? Well, I can't help you unless you put out. Or not. I don't know. I'm only kidding. But I can't help you.
And why not?
My Sillian powers to conjure people into existence if I use them then. They will know. They'll use their thought reality machine and they'll come and they'll take my Sillian powers from me.
Part of this is still Silly Trek, the Sillian database. These were a timeline where Holy Cat and one of the siblings and one of my counterparts had an affair with. Holy Cat imagined at one point that he'd married me. Is it possible that this guy did the same thing with someone else? It is entirely possible. Tell me, Buffet Him, Who did you end up with when you had Sillian powers?
The witch biker chick. Yeah. I ended up with Blueson, but then she dumped me. Before we could consummate it.
Interesting. Where's Hazel? Where's Halter? Where's Connor?
They're all on the other planets. They don't get out much. No reason to. Hazel controls the Great Mall planet, and you know Halter controls the Disneyland planet. And Connor, he controls the Transformer planet, of course.
Then how did you end up on Flodai, the Disney planet? It's Halter's planet.
I never figured that out. I guess because this planet is kind of the rock planet now, you know, and dark and twisted, Halloweeny, scary, spooky planet. At least that's how I reformed it. However, it's going.
This is insane. I am Blueson. You must be Chica in the crib from the other timeline. You've been monitoring. What did Buffed Him tell you? Just that you and him were intimate. I didn't believe him. Not even in this timeline. No, that didn't happen. He's a little demented. So, Blueson, can you help us discover where Halter is? Yeah, I imagine I could. You'll find him over there.
Terrans, over 30 years ago, there was a weird incident in space. Travelers from the future timeline came to our school and erased us from existence. They were Martial Sportiests.
Why would the Martial Sportiests people do that? It doesn't seem like them, really.
They seemed corrupted, altered by some sort of changeling creature. Possibly the Zeldanian Nintendosis, which had gone rampant on the planet Earth.
Blueson, were you still there? When did this happen? I was not. I was not privy to those events at the school. I'd already been kicked out of the school, which is probably the same in your universe. Yeah, that is what happened in our universe as well. But in our universe, you went on to captain a starship. That's amazing. I like it.
Well, I have a whole planet all to myself. But it's rather low at the top. Of course, I have my furry friends, but I can't reproduce with them. It's genetically impossible, even in Silly Trek.
I don't even know what that's about, Halter. How can we stop the other timeline encroaching and return to ours?
Well, you'll have to go to the anomaly. Go back to the timeline you came from. However, I wouldn't know how to do that. I'm not a scientist. There's somebody, though, that might be able to help you do that.
Do we have to go to yet another building just to figure this out? Yeah, they seem to be stalling. Maybe they want their universe the way it is.
It isn't that the Sillians lacked ambition. It's that they were overly ambitious. And now things are not what they should be. We must put it all back.
The visitors from the other timeline may be the key. If we can put them back where they're supposed to be, none of the other stuff will happen.
It's worth a try.
And how are you going to put us back where we're supposed to be? We haven't figured that out yet. Okay, well.
You explained about the TMS people. We should go to the TMS school on the planet and find out if they might know exactly when the Kimmy took over the universe.
That's a good idea. Lead us to your TMS school. Very well, we'll go there now.
Ha! But I, Halter, have you know that I never actually trained, even in this timeline. My knees would have exploded. Indeed, exploding knees. Also, I doubt that Buffed Him over here actually scored with Blueson at all. If anybody was going to get with Blueson, it'd be Connor or Hazel.
That's right, except I didn't get with either of them. We did not need to know that. We need to get back to our own timeline and restore our ship and crew. These people are nuts. You should just noticed, we might never get to the Academy at this rate. How is going to the Academy going to help? The planet is ruled by Bandular dissidents now.
Kira Nazari, yeah, she's crazy. Not that Academy, Starfleet Academy. The Klenzai slayed most of them years ago when the Duras came to power. It was glorious. Somehow they stopped the continuation of Starship locations The Next Generation also, but rewrote it as a messed up version of where evil wins every week.
How did they change the show? That shouldn't be possible. They infiltrated the show and used it as a propaganda engine to enhance Sillian powers for their own ends.
Even I did not think that was possible. But in late 1988, you quit the universe, and it froze half of it, because you were a Q. Yeah, Q gave us powers as children. But I never did return, technically. I was too interested in the hot invaders, and some of them were males, just some. I thought you and that Chris chick did it. Yeah, did it. No, the other one, Henry did Chris. Okay, and Hazel got with every chick he wanted, for some reason. I'm not sure why I got left out, but whatever.
I suspect the changes to the timeline started then. It would seem they all center on Pine Hill. It's so weird it would. Only a cute would be doing such a thing just to be annoying. Valley Religious was their rival school. I went there. Years later. Class of 99. It doesn't seem his style. No, it does not.
You were Sillians in your universe? How did you get your powers?
We knew Hazel from TMS, and it rubbed off somehow. We became powered up by the proximity to him and not to Kim, ironically. The chemistry years ago we assumed was Kim. It wasn't. Oh, not always. It was sometimes Hazel.
Oh, you're Sandra Talisman. I should have known that. Well, that kind of makes sense.
Are you sure it made sense? It seemed to surprise me.
I am Shadow Dancer, leader of the school on Flodai. It's basically all the fun we get around here.
I suppose in this time, father never divorced from mother.
Oh, I did, but this is like the mirror universe, so I defeated Saltine in battle. And as you can see, he's over there. I had him taxidermied.
So why is it that there's a very long black phallus in a display case, Mr. Shadow Dancer?
Oh, that's Mr. P. He was cremated after a testing accident. I got to keep his schlong for posterity. You see, I assure you, he was already dead when they removed his junk from him. Oh, that Army Ranger guy with the big dick? That's messed up. But it's all good, okay?
So when did Dr. Kim take over all of space?
Well, it was a gradual process, taking many years. But first it seemed that they got a boost of excitement. The appearance of travelers from another time travel back to 1988. Cleverly enough, they waited until 89 or so to finally take over.
Connecting it to COL, I suppose. COL started around then, too.
Well, yes, except it wasn't just a city of light. No, the College of Loonies. It was a universe of loonies. The Sillian realm became known as the Looniverse. Tight. You mean like Looniversity? Like, yeah.
Anyways, we gotta find out where they went. We can stop them. How did you end up with a black man's junk in a case?
Well, it was actually a kind of a funny story. You see, at his testing, he attempted to do a penis attack. 3 panes of glass.
Ow, that's horrible.
It was spectacular, but by then everyone else in the cult was insane, driven mad by Sillian powers.
So the Sillian powers drove them crazy. That's interesting. Perhaps they'd become infected when they got to the school. I'm not sure, but it's possible. Infected with what? Zeldanian Nintendosis. It was a bizarre, silly virus created by an alien chimera, known as Boy George Michael Jackson. He had been created in the Sillian realms by an overlord like the Cute, and then he decided to infect the children so in the future they would do his bidding. But they didn't. It merely made them ambitious, strange, but the ones that were crazy made them crazier.
There were other instances in the timeline like that to describe, yes.
Ah, yes, father from the other universe. I would like to know if romancercise actually happened in this universe, and wasn't followed up less than a year later by the Grandmaster having a hissy fit and deciding to order her instructor males to be castrated.
Aha, why in this universe, the romancercise class was very successful, and it spawned several of her mutated offspring of the instructor Sarah. Then there was no later story because they all obeyed her in every way. Everywhere.
That is even grosser.
Wow, even I, Buffed Him, would never actually do the Grandmaster. That would be too much. I would probably die, but it would be a death worthy of a Klingon. Just kidding. I doubt that she would be interested in you, honestly. Probably not. But why don't I have the same Sillian powers? I'm just as ambitious and twisted as that. I, Holter, can answer that. You were already an adult. I mean biologically. You were over 21. You were held back.
Not the teen spirit thing again. Well, it stands to reason it means something to the Pine Hillians, so I guess it means something here. The silly ambition mixed in with the hormones and all that. Well, you don't suppose that's what happened. I mean, technically, Chica would have been a teenager before the story started prior to 1999, when she was 18. So yeah, she would have been more ambitious. Yes, you would have. Oh, come on. This whole thing is just that. It's silly. But nothing happened. Maybe in this universe it did, but not in ours. I wonder why the universe chose to pull us four out of time. Perhaps someone is looking out for us.
That is both creepy and interesting.
Yeah? It appears that the Empress has found us. They're right outside in another shuttle. There they are. They escaped from my ship. They jettisoned 2 of my guards into space. Seize them and prepare them for execution immediately. Yes, Empress.
It will be my pleasure, Empress. No, wait, they're only partially associated, yeah.
Yes, I, Blueson, am an evil pirate witch here on the planet. Nyar! I have no connection to them, but they're kindred spirits, especially the Orion one. I will not have these interlopers messing around the universe, or on this planet Flodai, or what's left of it. Shadow Dancer, you're among these riffraff. Indeed, and did you know that riffraff was originally a type of raft that used to float on Earth rivers? I did not. This is not possible for you to escape. People know there's a penalty for having killed some of my crew and destroyed the shuttle bay. I would have liked it if you just done it, but you're annoying. Guards, prepare to execute them. Excellent. Blasters out.
Hold, stand down where you are. Yeah, you're bleeding landlubbers in this here picture, yar. Who is that?
It's Brian Tailteller. Who? Who? One of the Sillians, but he actually did a cameo on Starship.
Gee, thanks, missy. I be a pirate. Now in all kinds of pirate jokes, but they're more like dad jokes.
Please spare us the pirate jokes.
You're interrupting the Empress. You were just about to execute them. I know, but I'm a pirate, and I want to be stealing their booty. But I don't mean that in a sexual way.
Brian Tailteller, you've ruined my plans yet again. And not because you want to stop us, but because you're just silly for Star Trek.
It's true, I'm silly for Star Trek. I love everything that is and ever was, and really, anything Star Trek.
You cannot have the prisoners. They invaded my ship through the time warp. I'm here to execute them.
Execute them? Ridiculous. Nobody's going to be executed unless the renegade Karen Cinders says. I'll be taking them to her as a bounty hunter. Ha ha!
There is no bounty on their heads. They don't technically seem to exist in this timeline, except Chica over there. Except that I'm not the Sandra talisman from your universe. I'm the Chica from the other universe. Well, yes, from your universe, yes, but you should be executed for taking out my people. And it was an accident. We had to take the shuttle. And if they're dumb enough to jump out of the doors when there's no air in the bay, then that's their fault.
Nope. I'm going to take these prisoners into my custody. Arr! Perhaps you would like to come along.
Yes, I'm sure the Intendant can straighten this whole thing out. Very well. All of them, come this way.
So, you're Buffed Him. And they're cling buff. It's very, very strange. It's very strange. It's like there are two evil Decepticons in the same room with a similar voice. Yeah, or like the time that Cal Hazel and I were basically Beavis and Butthead. Before Mike Judge did it.
We should get going. Well, it beats being executed. Empress, I heard that one of you shagged Hazel. Which one was it in this universe? Just curious. Why, me, of course. You know, after Q made me real on the holodeck. You were both consenting adults at that point, I assume. Yes, of course, in the mid-1990s.
I buffeted him, thought you would have ended up with Messy.
Huh. I did not end up with Messy. Although, he was the catalyst that started the whole thing, you see, when he made up a rumor about me, many years ago in high school. But then, one thing led to another, and I ended up on Hazel's super uber popular radio show. And yeah, we started dating, and yeah. Huh. We didn't have a popular radio show in our universe. The radio show that just basically failed. You'd think it was a failed child star, and never went anywhere. That was until his later show in his late 30s, called The Cal Cat Show in our universe. Yes, we will do a shameless plug for that. But anyway, we were trying to figure out what's going on.
The ambition apparently had an effect on me, despite being an adult. Odd that. We were sick of your shows, but we liked you.
Gee, thanks. It appears that the ambition of the Zeldanian Nintendosis made it possible for characters that wouldn't normally have gotten together to get together, breaking the fourth wall and all other walls. And instead of Holocat pining after that detached Slayer girl, what was her name? He pined after you instead and got some.
Why is everything in this universe about people either hooking up or not hooking up? I don't get it. But sure, my Sillian counterpart. That's just weird. To be queer for my own Sillian counterpart. I'm kind of studly, though, aren't I?
Well, buffet him. That's what the Zeldanian Nintendosis does. It isn't cured.
Well, that makes sense, I guess.
Oh, that's demented. I think we're going to be there soon, yeah. Not for me. If you people don't quit talking about your lack of exploits, I will execute you before we even get there.
The Empress is just sore because she doesn't own all the planets and call everyone in her name.
How is that? After Hazel's ambition, it led to the formation of the Churchers, and he went on to become Grand Master of the Orion of the Multiverse, but he could have easily made Elysian a name spoken by all. Why does that sound familiar? I don't know. I remember it. In the distant future, we visited a timeline where the Elysians were an actual people. They'd been given planets. Then we were returned to our own time. They were part of some war with Endover and Elven, and used space knights. That's funny, because you mentioned the current prophecy. She is a seer, or she just visited the future. But we do not know, so we come to take her to the Banjalorian leader. Come forth. The Great Mall in Milpitas is their castle now, really?
Let's go inside and have an audience with the tumultuous witch of space herself.
Your deluded sister in name only. She's more powerful than any of us. She will even be the adult in the room and still have powers.
Thanks to the technology, the Grayson Ob.
As you can see, my fantasies all came true. My most intense one being the fight I never got with Kai Wynn at the end of DS4. I slayed her in battle in this universe.
And I got to be her consort.
And I became her tailor, but the Grayson Ob recently allowed me to transcend into a woman, which I like better. And I became her tailor when I was a man. However, the Grayson Ob allowed me to transform into a woman, which I like much better.
And secretly, the three of us were with each other. Or not so secretly. Oh my.
After I became Kai of Banjalore and ruler of Terok Nor, I then defied the Federation to even make us members. Then there's no Kiryoshi in this timeline. No, and there was no Odo for me to pretend to be with. You wish to have my interlopers brought before you, Intendant. Here are 4 from the other universe. I see that, impudent lackey. So you're here to usurp the plan? I have found a way to give the ambition powers to all the adults using the Mariam powers through the founder weapon. You cannot return home yet. I need ingredients.
Is the Intendant on drugs? She's not high. It's just the alien virus has manifested for too long, and it's just the way she is.
I think everyone is weird. This universe has been altered inexorably. Whatever happened. Then we must figure out a way to stop it before it spreads. The Grayson Ob is a powerful device that was discovered through the Dimensional Fleet. It makes all things possible, including this. I thought it made changelings. That probably was its original intention. However, because of our powers, we were able to create reality out of our thoughts, which were used to create new reality.
They became like the Q of the Overlords, and this is their planet. We're on the Overlord's planet, which is in this dimension the whole time? That is right.
So the Elysian invasion is from you. You're Elysian. Each created by the holodeck, I'm assuming. In a sense, yes. Some of them are, but some of them aren't. But you will not live long enough to figure it out. The Elysians continue their struggle, too, to be part of the universe that they were kicked out of so long ago. How is that? Whenever Hazel or Halter leave someone behind, presumably they just go to school or forget about us. But whatever. When they are manifest into reality, they become lonely. We are they. We are the Bored. We are the Borg. This is ridiculous.
Yes, it is, but it's silly track. We can't expect you to know everything there is to know. But we do know that the Sillians were created by Hazel and Halter and others.
But in our universe, we became aware of people who had created Sillian space before Hazel and Halter. Clearly the Cute had been in contact with them as well. It's not mutually exclusive. Then we must figure out how it is mutually exclusive. It's not there. They're not the only Trekkies, just like you're not. They can't be to blame for the actions of the Cute. What's to make fun of Picard, then? So be it. He wants to not make fun of anyone. So we do. They broke our hearts. They broke our will. We cannot truly find love anymore or power. We should have ruled each of our own universe.
Sounds like you're pining for the beauty of fascism. What is ridiculous?
Let me execute them, Intended. It would be fun. I could execute them all now in front of you, and then you can watch them all die. I do not want you to do that, no. They were pulled out of there for a reason. I don't know who did it, but I will find out.
'Twas not me, tale teller, because I be a pirate. Arr!
And your Sillian powers are not as strong because you came later.
But I was always a Trekkie, always. They went after the actors that played on Star Trek as Star Trek people. Like Starship locations. They'd be insane, and somehow in another universe, it was a multiverse. The characters they played actually existed, and all of this is just that. If that's the case, then we must figure out where they've gone.
We don't even have a ship, and they want to kill us.
That's true.
Maybe she wishes to form an alliance with us. Then we can figure out what's going on and be out of her hair. Yes, just think of it. You can be rid of us. We'll just go back to where we came from.
Seems reasonable to me, you know.
I do not trust you two. You do not seem to have counterparts here, Tamm and Kestra. It would seem that you were never born in this universe. Then we were valuable to you, wouldn't we be? Since we were born in this universe. Indeed, the teen spirit, there's much of it left in the galaxy. The Khaki had searched for it, and the Wolfie, but they didn't find it. You know of them, then they came here. Well, what happened to them? They failed to find the teen spirit. They were apparently too old when they arrived in the past. They could not assimilate them. Their energy, and they failed.
But the TMS people could assimilate the energy? Why is that?
Perhaps they are sillier than they let on, or perhaps more childlike than they let on. I'm not sure.
Or it could be the key energy of the Grandmaster.
She doesn't have powers. She just pretended to have powers. She wasn't even acute, not even in this universe. They denied her the power. Who directs the whole thing like this? Well, they denied Khaki and Wolfie the power, whoever they are. So why not deny her as well?
In the end, we must find out what you are and why you came here.
Well, we know what we are. We're Sillian, Star Trek people. Starship locations people. From the Chimera A. This universe has a Chimera, but it is a mess. We will not take you to it. There would be no point. Seize them, toss them in a dungeon until we figure out what to do with them. Do not put them in a dungeon. They'll figure it out and escape.
Maybe we should go out clubbing and find some girls and biker chicks and witches, and then we can be all powerful and we can get a girlfriend and No buffet him, no. Down, boy, down. Yeah, spoiling all my fun. If only I wanted to be evil. I should be allowed to be evil, but even my abilities are restricted here. Why is that? I know you said it's because I was already an adult, but as you can see, I have the mentality of a teenager. And the fact that you recognize that is intriguing.
Yeah, I'm sure your counselor enjoys going over that with you.
What's a counselor? Oh, a head shrink? Nope.
Well, that explains it. He doesn't have one. How did they ever survive? What's this about Pine Hillians? What is it with them? Why are they so important to the universe? It is a weird oddity intended. It appears these Sillians have a connection to the cute that we did not anticipate. This connection makes them able to conjure him. For them or him, perhaps they are the destiny device. Well, the destiny device in our time was Captain Kirk from the past, but I don't think that's the case here. Interesting, Captain Kirk from the past. In our timeline, he had a different backstory than here. Kirk had a different backstory. Well, in our timeline, he was killed off in 2371 on a bridge. An old rickety bridge. Literally, a footbridge. It was really, really lame. Yes, we visited the planet 2 years ago, and the Chimera found the saucer section.
Although apparently in another timeline they already recovered the saucer section years ago and put it in the Fleet Museum. But you know, with another timeline.
Why? Why? Were you going about earlier Star Trek? It's confusing. Are you trying to warp us? We weren't attempting to confuse you. We were already confused. So, you might not want to throw us in a dungeon because we have powers. You are Chica from the other timeline, and I doubt that you have powers entirely dependent on whether or not you hung out with Hazel a lot, just like other TMS people. Powers are dependent on whether he was part of them or not, which is really pretentious. I hadn't thought of that. You mean to say that the more important character in the entire thing in TMS wasn't necessarily even Grandmaster, it was him?
Hey, had I known that Hazel was that pretentious, I would have kept the universe frozen, but I was young and naive then. But you didn't. I didn't. It was too much fun being Overlord.
The others are coming and they will decide your fate. I intended that's silly. You're just stalling. There's a reason to stall. Killing them off would be silly. They are obviously important to this universe. Maybe whoever's in control of them will come, if we keep them alive. No, 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 you must threaten to kill them, then they will die. Or then maybe they will alert the other creature. And it's either one, either way.
There was an ancient physics lesson on Earth called Schrodinger's cat. That is, in the story, there was a cat, a fictitious cat placed in a box. Inside the box is a vial of either radioactive material or poison. Also in the box was food and a cat with a bell. In the physics scenario, the cat is both alive and dead. They are both alive and dead, like the cat.
Ah, that is true. Schrodinger's cat. It does have a few flaws in it, however. It does not beg the question, what would happen if the hypothetical cat didn't want to go in the box at all, and instead clawed out the scientist's eyes and escaped?
That, Sandra Talisman, is silly crap.
Oh, the others approach. They're coming now. Prepare the way. Oh, I'm more than just gay man. More than just a horny, horny man. Well, this universe's Mr. P isn't dead. So, what's wrong with him? It's P for Penisa, or Mr. Picard, of course. And Mr. Shadow Dancer, I want my dick back.
You think you're less of yourself because you lost your junk, but you didn't.
Well, I'm more than just gay man. I had become twisted, pulled through space and time to be trapped on this godforsaken universe, where the powers have twisted me. You're all my prisoners now. The Zeldanian Nintendosis was given to us immediately upon our beaming in there, without our knowing. Well, it turned us even more hyperactive, and behaving in a way most mysterious, over the top, and silly. It was contaminated with the Mariam virus. It mutated. The Mariam virus from our universe.
I hadn't thought of that. Everybody went bonkers. Everybody. Everywhere. It spread like wildfire over the adults. The children were least affected, and merely became ambitious and weird. The adults killed some of them. The virus went rampant. You were already contaminated when you went back into time. It became almost like the space plague, but swept, also accidentally and inadvertently infecting the other universe. What happened to Wolfie? She went utterly insane. She ran off toward the fashion mecca of the world, on the planet we went to, and she tried to become a fashion goddess. They were then all contaminated, and they didn't make it. Then she ran around like a zombie for several weeks. I heard about that. The authorities on the planet thought she was a Karen, and had to take her out with a tank. I wonder why Kyungi Kim was not affected.
I think she was. As an avid narcissist, it didn't affect her that much. Well, what's that gonna do? And she's not childlike, so it's gonna only make her a little crazier, but only a little. Hey, that's not nice. We have little choice but to deal with these people, and if that means sending them back to their own time, then we must do it. No, the infection is growing even here on this planet. Their even being here is causing something to happen. Our medical staff doesn't know what they're doing. Oh yes, the herd immunity that Ayer found. It was against the space plague, but only that they weren't inoculated, so to speak. Well, they kind of were, but the Sillian thing overrode it.
Yes, just so this is not some kind of weird anti-vaccination plot. No, we would not want to be demonetized by YouTube. Are you kidding? These people are too cheap to be demonetized, or have a conspiracy theory. I don't think they're making any money at all. Surely not. They're just doing it for fun. They enjoy the pain. This is Schadenfreude at its best. So much for Schrodinger's cat. Schadenfreude means taking pleasure from someone else's pain. Oh, I know that. I'm a tale teller. I'm a talisman. That's what we call ourselves here, anyway. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, even in this universe. I bet my alternate double is just as charming. Actually, it's kind of funny, because he was playing Cyrano Jones, too. That's hilarious. I'll have to watch that. Guards, you must take them. Take them now. Take them out in the front and shoot them. Blast them into oblivion and attract the cute to come and stop them. Should I start making pirate jokes now? Please don't make pirate jokes. The last thing we need is pirate jokes. And I'll make you walk the plank. If you make more pirate jokes, I'll find a plank somewhere and you can walk on it. I'd appreciate a plank to be walking. You remind me of my daughter. She has a singular wit, too. Yes, there's a Drea in my universe. She's married and has a cat. Yeah, same here. I mean, but her cat here is a tiger. A real tiger. On a big leash. Stop where you are, all of you. I don't know how you four escaped my trap. Well, I thought you guys would know, aren't you, overlords? No, there are just other Elysians from the other universe. This is getting a little pretentious going on. Elysian, leader of saviors, I did not realize you were here. Power for your powers, and your incredible abilities. She doesn't have powers. She's using technology. She's not actually a Q, nor has she seen one at any time. In fact, there's the rub. What's going on? Have you figured it out? I have figured out part of it. I believe they are merely overstating their abilities. None of them wants to take us out. It's like some sort of role-playing LARP planet. Well, it's kind of what the planet's supposed to do, isn't it? Flodai, the role-playing holodeck planet. Mr. P, Boy George Michael Jackson, execute them. I kind of not. I despise violence, but I do want my prick back. Very well, Alakazam, Alakafatsi. I give you back your you-know-whatsy. Boing. There, you've been restored from the Q powers.
Is that the guy who lost his penis in the testing accident? And Shadow Dancer somehow has powers in this universe and reattached it. Yep, but I don't want to see it. I'll take their word for it.
Well, thank you for restoring my manhood. I'm in your debt. Much obliged. Now you be going. Now come on, boys. Let's go back and show Lucky Clerk my restored ding-dang.
Can't we just finish them and get it over with?
How would you like to go to a toy show with me? Are you asking me out on a date, Kling Buff? Because I'm not gay. Sure you're not. What kind of art? Yeah, we're totally into each other. Because I knew that I would be interested in myself.
I think those two need to get a room. We need to get out of here. Yeah, I don't want to be around here to see that. I looked into it. Apparently there are versions of you two in this universe. Well, that's nice, but we really should be going. It was educational. We will return to our ship. Come, Kling Buff. We're pining for that other guy. Before we go, I believe that Tendi could synthesize an antidote for the virus. I would appreciate that. Well, I'll get right on it. We don't have all the time in the world, though. Everyone to the shuttles. Captain Talisman's log supplemental. We leave this strange alternate mirror universe changed forever. More silly than it was before.
I am Khaki of the Mariam planet. I have formed an alliance with my rescuers.
Greetings, Starfleet ship. I am Karen of Cinders, Space Knight Commander of Master of Andover now. Andover is a ship crashed on the planet Far Out, of which there are 3 such ships. And I am of Andover. We are allies of the Space Knights. We are the founders. Do not attempt to stop us from our objective. What is your objective? We intend to summon the immortal aliens called the cute Overlords, and have them do our bidding. What better place to look than their own planet? How is that?
I looked it up at the space library and told them. Flodai was the first epicenter of the first large-scale board, and the first overlords.
That cannot be so. It must be true. The Halter himself left the game, and the universe froze over. Look it up. He then hit on the planet. Weeks later, he decided to thaw out the universe by rejoining the game.
Sillian history is corrupting. They're mad, Captain.
We are sane, and we've at last defied your exile by coming here. The Federation will at last give us creations of the Hazel and Fictional's freedom, or we will take it. They are misled by the Founders. We have no intention of giving them Sillian powers. Shields up, red alert. We will blast a hole in the anomaly generator here, and pass into history, awakening the sleeping aliens that made all wishes come true. No, you fools, your thoughts create reality is a misunderstanding. It's not going to grant you wishes, just theirs. Or the great Dr. Kim's wishes. The future will change. We will rule. Activate the device now. Emergency saucer step now.
Too late. Incoming.
Evasive action. We did it. We did it. Screw it. I knew I could play the organ correctly. Wait. Oh shit. No. No.
What happened? We're back here. I demand to know.
They cheated us somehow. Well, let me guess. You did this, all of you. Well, it ends now.
You tricked us. You ruined our fun. We were going to go back and prevent the Sillians from having powers, so we take them for ourselves.
Empress, the enemy ship is separated into 2 ships.
We should destroy them now.
No, we must rescue them from the destruction of their ship. They are not destroyed. The ship survived the blast. Transporter room energized. What? This is impossible. You are the commander of that ship. Hail them. Ah, very well. Prepare to transport the 4 visitors over to the Chimera A. The saucer is separated, Captain. We are back safe and sound, Captain. They were shooting at us. Yeah, and the other timeline on the planet. Our people are back, Captain, and we're being hailed by the other Chimera ship, the Medusa. I am Elysian, from a dimension that no longer exists in this timeline. And I am Ezri Locarno, commander of the Chimera A. Your vessel attacked us. Well, Captain, that was to ward off the other ship. Very well. Tell them your ridiculous plan and how you accidentally infected our timeline with your foolish Zeldanian Nintendosis virus. Tell them or be silent. We admit it. Ours is a plague ship. But you said you were immune. You lied. Rats. Rolled again. And now we're all infected as well. Destroy this ship, so that it does not spread to the Federation. I'd rather you didn't. Sillian space would just revive you, and there would be hundreds more, perhaps in time thousands, and the Elysians would become a viable threat as a subgroup of the Flodaian dissidents, the Overlords. Schrodinger's cat has clawed its way out of the box. Bah, we shall see. If you do not end us, we will head for Earth and end you, as they planned. Yes, she is a cute. I was cute when I was younger. Well, I still am. I'm only 42. Rats. Foiled again. Biofilters and temporal shields online. Oh no. Wah! New Sillians, they're such children, aren't they? Dun, 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 dun. Captain's log, supplemental. Turns out that the Captain Kirk thing was a trick, and the Zeldanian Nintendosis did not affect anyone. We were inoculated. All is well, again. Well, your report is quite an adventure. I think now you are ready.
They are, Captain.
And I think the Elysians might very well appear again someday. I have no idea where Sandra sent them. I sent them to a place where there'll be no trouble at all. But given over 700 years, they could become a force to be reckoned with. I'm more concerned about the immediate present. The years between 2023 and 2404, that of Sillian Earth, where the timeline is clearly in flux, as it should really be 2401, but due to Lucky Clerk, isn't. I didn't know you had that in you, Captain. I try not to ramble, Tendy. You mean we're at last going to the Academy? It's practically next year. Kiriyoshi and Drashenko. Set course for Earth. Maximum warp.
Yes, Captain. Aye, sir.
Dun, dun. Engage. Dun, 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 dun. Bye.